This program is brought to you by Hustle and Flow, now on demand. Rent with your remote today.
This is my life.
This program is brought to you by Hustle and Flow, now on demand.
This is Terrence Howard. Be sure to catch Hustle and Flow on demand.
Don't miss Hustle and Flow. Rent with your remote today.
Someday, and that day may never come, I may call upon you to do a service for me. But until that day, accept this as a gift.
Back in the day, The Godfather was the greatest film of its time. Packing punch after punch with big-time stars portraying larger-than-life characters, The Godfather made a huge impression on hip-hop hustlers and rap impresarios, influencing their clothes, their lyrics, and their attitudes.
People infatuated with The Godfather never stops.
I think The Godfather happens to be one of the most entertaining films that I've ever watched.
More than 30 years later, the classic movie has been updated for a new school of street-savvy players. Game players, that is.
It's definitely interesting to see what this Godfather video game will be like, because I think it's such a classic movie that, you want the video game to feel just as classic.
The Godfather video game is about to drop, and we've got an exclusive look at clips from the M-rated game and interviews with some of the rap stars this legendary movie has impacted. We're making an offer you can't refuse. It's The Godfather. Money, power, respect.
Godfather, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
You can act like a man! What's the matter with you? I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
When Mario Puzo's The Godfather became a blockbuster back in 1972, it started a revolution.
I must have been about 12 years old or 13 years old when I first seen The Godfather. And it had a strong effect on me. I mean, to say the least, I was young, and the characters were like heroes. We was all street kids, right? So the gangsters was always, exciting.
The Godfather took the world by storm, and since 1972, the movie has grossed nearly $500 million, and Entertainment Weekly called The Godfather the greatest film of all time.
People infatuated with The Godfather never stops. Like 24 hours a day, every weekend of the year, you always find yourself watching this movie.
Are you my friend? The Godfather?
You don't get no more classic than The Godfather.
The whole world's infatuated with the mafia dons and Don Corleone, and their family's like the greatest mafia family ever lived.
I think The Godfather happens to be one of the most entertaining films that I've ever watched.
What the hell is this?
That's a Sicilian message. It means Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes.
The movie was an ambitious project with over 100 locations for filming in and around New York City. From violent street fights to quiet but intense sit-downs, the movie kept audiences on the edge of their seats from beginning to end.
Set the bar real high, so that's why you have so many good gangster pictures, because of movies like Godfather.
The story of The Godfather is an age-old tale of greed and revenge centered around Don Vito Corleone, the head of a wealthy, close-knit mafia family.
But Don is the man, he's the head of the household. He's the speaker and everything else is up underneath it. He speaks and everybody else listens and he passes it on through each level of the family. Once he speaks, it's final.
He got smarts, you know what I mean? He tell you the truth. He's a provider. He just do all the things that a real Don is supposed to do.
You gotta be good to the people. You gotta treat everybody the same, no matter how influential they are, and at the same time, always be thoughtful of your community, of your family, and just use loyalty and respect as a code of life.
When in an ultimate sign of disrespect, an attempt is made on Don Corleone's life, his family must avenge him to show that respect is earned and not taken.
I think respect is an important theme, whether it's a gangster film or in real life.
When I hear the words Godfather, or I think about the movie Godfather, I think about respect. I think about honor. Everything that I built my whole career on, things I truly believe in, and I think everybody should stand for something.
I have a lot of friends in politics. But they wouldn't be friendly very long if they knew my business was drugs instead of gambling, which they regard as a harmless vice.
It's based on your word, you know. Your word it meant everything back then. Not the money, not all that. It was just about the word and the respect that one family had for another.
What have I ever done to make you treat me so disrespectfully?
You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have the respect, people just walk all over you.
Everybody feels like they want to whack somebody for lying to them or for double-crossing them. And once you cross that line of respect, then, you know, you get out of line, you get whacked.
But The Godfather wasn't just about gunshots and fistfights. It was about family.
You spend time with your family?
Sure I do.
Good. Because a man who doesn't spend time with his family can never be a real man.
Family, very important. In an age where family is perceived to be less important by some. The Godfather will come on, right, and hit all these people that are gangsters, that break the rules, but they don't break the family rules.
Even for nowadays, like, families is instrumental to everything you do. If you don't have a tight-knit families that you can trust and put your life into their hands, then you're really not gonna progress in anything aggressive.
I want you to arrange a meeting with the heads of the 5 families. This war stops now.
And that family was portrayed by some of the most captivating actors to ever appear on the silver screen.
I think that whole cast for The Godfather was just incredible.
Watching Marlon Brando give one of the greatest performances of his life was the most impactful to me.
Godfather, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
You can act like a man! What's the matter with you?
James Caan, brilliant acting.
What did he say? The beef, the that, the boop.
And those actors provided some of the most memorable scenes in the film, showing that if you disrespected the Corleone family, they were going to make damn well sure it didn't happen again.
When Sonny beat up his sister's husband, Sonny bust his ass so old school style with the pointy shoes, hit him with the garbage can on his head, threw him in the water pump. Like, that was a classic ass whipping.
Let me lay it on the line for you and your boss, whoever he is. Johnny Fontaine will never get that movie. I don't care how many goombas come out of the woodwork.
He came to him with a proposition. He tried to be fair. You know I'm a man of power, and you gonna try to play me? Where your favorite horse at?
Every part teaches you something different.
Although it's a gangster flick and it's very violent, it teaches you a lot of valuable lessons in life that you need to know to get through life in this cutthroat world.
No, no more. Not this time, Consigliere. No more meetings, no more discussions, no more salats or tricks, all right?
Father wouldn't want to hear this. This is business, not personal, Sonny.
The classic gangster film's been updated for a new generation in the guise of a video game. From big screen to small screen, The Godfather is a phenomenon.
If you're gonna reference something, you reference the best. And Godfather is the best of the gangster movies. So whenever you're talking about doing something that's gangster, you reference The Godfather, everybody gets it.
When The Godfather blasted onto the scene in the early 70s, it created a whole new group of fans that literally grew up with the groundbreaking film.
These movies was like classic all-time great fights to us.
I wanted to be part of it, actually. I wanted to build an empire or something that resembled what they had as a family.
We never thought about it being a gang movie. We thought it was part of life, what the street was about, money, power, and respect. That OG on the block that commanded that respect.
First, to congratulate you on your new business. I know you do very well, and good luck to you. Especially since your interests don't conflict with mine.
With powerful themes of respect, loyalty, family, and wealth, it's easy to see how much the world of hip-hop and the original gangster have in common.
With this music, the urban music, hip-hop music, The Godfather is a huge influence on every artist that comes out, I believe, wants to try to do something that mimics them. I got Marlon on my arm actually tattooed. I wish you could see it.
I think a lot of people try to use more or less a handshake and a vow of good faith over a lot of contracts and how they handle business and how they kind of conduct themselves on a personal note.
Hip-hop heavies can really identify with the Godfather image. Strong but benevolent.
It's a kind of a sexist idea. The man's in charge. They'll keep everybody else in the dark. But they want to go and do what they have to do. You know, and break whatever rules they have to break to protect, preserve the family.
My values from that were all positive for me and influences in my life, because if you were the boss, then you were the boss. There was no ends about it, and you would die for your family. You know what I mean? Those things were all important in growing up in my life.
I think the movies probably take what they might interpret from a lot of music and bring it to life on TV. As per se we do in the music, you know, we get influenced by different movies such as Godfather.
I don't think The Godfather tells you to be violent. I think it just, you know, gives you like a code of ethics to live by. I think that's what people get from it. You know, there's a lot of good in The Godfather.
Let me say that I swear on the soul of my grandchildren that I will not be the one to break the peace we've made here today.
It's here, it's here, it's here. Oh, yes.
The Andy Milonakis Show, the complete first season. Buy it now on DVD.
Hey, I bet I can beat you in a race, bitch!
This 2-disc set includes all season 1 episodes. The featurette, Andy Goes Hollywood.
He really is a big star.
Unaired skits, cast interviews.
That sounds pretty interesting.
And outtakes.
Sorry.
The complete first season of The Andy Milonakis Show. Buy it now on DVD.
Much like The Godfather's iconic images of power, the luxury represented in the classic film extended the concept of bling to the hip-hop world. From the cars they drove to the flashy but classy wardrobe, the old-school images have transformed urban street styles.
There was definitely an era in hip-hop where they embodied the Godfather style, and they really embodied that gangster hip-hop look.
Just the way they dress so clean and so sharp just to be lounging around the house and having just regular conversations is incredible. So the fashion statement that was made in that movie, to be made at that time that they did it, was incredible as well.
And when Fat Joe did that Don Cartagena, they were wearing the suits. And there was a time where people put away the baggy jeans, and they started really embodying that Godfather look.
They call me the Don Cartagena. We very influenced by the whole style of it, the way we dress. Eric B. and Rakim, when they had the Tommy guns and the old school cars, back to that day of hip-hop, that was off of Godfather.
The whole thing about having a bunch of people working for you and around you, and you being untouchable in the nice suits, the nice big pretty cars.
It's definitely something gangsta about having like whatever the newest car is. You know, those guys, the cars they were driving were at that time was top of the line. So you can compare the car Marlon Brando's in to, you know, Jay-Z's Phantom.
Back in the Godfather days in the 40s, the Cadillac was the main car to drive. When they rolled up, everybody knew it was them coming. They had the curtains drawn and just to kind of like conceal who they were, but you knew. Once you seen that car, you knew. In the hip-hop industry, the cars are a status thing. People dream of having cars like that. That may be the first thing they go out and buy is a Rolls Royce. It goes back to the money, power, respect thing. When you see a Rolls Royce Phantom pulling up, you know somebody important's about to get out of it.
And now the current generation of rap stars see themselves as modern-day dons.
I know a lot of rappers out there who take on the moniker of characters from Godfather and these other gangster movies, but everybody wants to be a boss. You know what I'm saying? It's the whole money, power, respect thing. Although we're making music and it's entertainment, we live our lives as if we're dons and our crews are capos and all that. So I can relate to Don Corleone. The Godfather taught us how to live right. I'm a DON, you know what I mean? I handle myself like a real Don.
Consigliere of mine, I think you should tell your Don what everyone seems to know.
They shot Sonny on the causeway. He's dead.
Just about every fan of The Godfather can understand wanting to be powerful like Don Corleone, and now they can. More than 30 years after the movie premiered, The Godfather's gone digital and is taking on a new life as a gritty and gutsy video game.
It's definitely interesting to see what this Godfather video game will be like, because I think it's such a classic movie that, you want the video game to feel just as classic.
I play video games. My name is Game. I got anything that has to do with game, I'm definitely involved in. I'm down with the video game frenzy.
Somebody on the tour that's a video game junkie, we can't help but to get hooked while you're on that tour bus. Drugs, sex, murdering, racketeering, police corruption. There should be a lot of interesting things in the video.
I can't wait for the Godfather video game.
I read, I watched, and now I can play.
Even if you have your specific area of games that you like to play, the shoot-'em-up game always wins.
Constructing a video game from a movie isn't as easy as you might think, especially when the movie is as complex as The Godfather.
There's certainly been a lot of video games that emanate from film, and now we're making an interactive adaptation of a classic film.
This game is authentic, from the location, to the cars, to the guns, to the story.
You're actually part of the action. You're part of those scenes, those famous scenes from the Godfather film. You actually get to be part of the movie.
It's not generic in any way. It's 1945, and there's certain laws and rules and regulations, the way things looked, the way things acted, the way cars drove, the types of guns there were.
We've done quite a bit of research trying to not only capture the Godfather fiction, but what it felt like to live in that era.
Hey, Hotshot. Glad you could make it.
To fully bring the game's characters to life, all new voice tracks were recorded with original Godfather actors utilizing big names like James Caan, who played Sonny.
Take two. Pop, damn it. We need some help here.
Robert Duvall, who played the consigliere Tom Hagen.
Even the shooting of your father was business. It's not personal, Sonny.
Well, then business will have to suffer, all right?
Yeah, well, you're getting a great reputation.
And the producers even got the Godfather himself, Marlon Brando, to record some new dialogue before he passed away.
When you are old enough, and the time is right, you will take your revenge.
Players are fully immersed in the game and must prove their worth to advance through the ranks of the Godfather's criminal empire.
You're invited by the Corleone family to join their ranks.
Hey, son, we'd like you to become an associate to the Corleone family.
And then, by carrying out family business, extorting, taking over, completing missions, completing hits, basically doing what the family asks, you're able to work your way up through the family.
You've got this spine of missions that you have to complete, that you have to do to progress through the time and through the movie. And then at certain points along there, you meet other characters.
Hey, you gotta help me get my pop to the hospital. Get in, we'll follow the ambulance.
We're going to let you make day-to-day, minute-to-minute decisions which have consequences.
You work along the likes of Michael and Sonny, and those guys mentor you and tutor you as you try to rise from a lowly outsider to top don of New York City.
All right, another day, another $1.50.
I learned from the best.
These men of honor, they too are my family. La Familia Corleone.
And just like Don Corleone, the player is in total control.
One of the things that we've done is with the control mechanic, we've adopted this, what we're calling the black hand control scheme. The game is a very visceral feel in the controller. So while you manhandle your controller, you manhandle your opponents on screen. To grab a guy, you grab both shoulder buttons. So as you're tensely grabbing the controller, your avatar is grabbing the opponent on screen. With that, you can then manipulate him, throw him around left and right. And to go in for the kill, you can actually strangle by clicking down the sticks.
Strangle him a little bit. Let him know how you really feel.
You're gonna whack him today.
I'm a gamer, so I'm full-blown, full game. Based on what I do and the questions that I ask,
What do I need to do?
I'm gonna get different responses. Get out of I'm playing this. I mean, I'm gonna smack some people. I'm gonna talk to some people, try to get it out of them. And I'm gonna have to knock some people off.
You can change the course of fictional history. As you do things, you can change and have options. I'm sure it's very fascinating for an audience to do that.
Right. What's this guy, watching a movie? Get him out of here.
For fans of the franchise, this is the ultimate way to pay your respects to a timeless classic. Make the right decisions, and you'll rise up to become a legend. Make the wrong move, and you'll be history.
Once they step out into that street and start living it, as it were, getting out in that world, they're going to be blown away.
Sorry, Johnny. It's just business.
This game pays the highest compliment to one of the most memorable films of all time, The Godfather.
I think if the game is that intriguing, it might make you run back and try to see, like, let me check this movie out. Because I'm sure the video game is going to be incredible.
Today, we'll set a course for all our futures.